Welcome to this session. And today we are going to look at the global scholarship strategies, which we have our speaker in the person of Kolawole Bode Bisi, who also PhD from London South Bank University here in the UK, and also has an MSc from South Korea. And this session is our weekly session where we kind of have a recap of what we've learned in the week. And also we have a kind of a focus session from Monday to Friday this week, which is the week 3 of our potently summer career experience program. We have looked at how to position ourselves for global scholarships, and not just scholarships, even global job opportunities like freelancing. And one of the most popular requests we have from our participants is on the scholarships. And as you all know, at the end of every week, we bring in an expert to come present to you, to talk to you, to answer your questions, to make you feel and also see that whatsoever we've taught you in the last 5 days is actually a reality, because they have passed through it and they've also guided a lot of people towards that same pathway. So just briefly, I'm going to introduce our speaker, then I'm going to call on before calling on our speakers to continue this session. So the name of our speaker is Kolawole Bode Bisi, and he is a Nigerian, right? Currently living and working in the UK. So he holds a fully funded MSc fully funded master's scholarship in South Korea in 2020, and in a computer science. He has had his BSc in the University of Ilorin in Nigeria, and he has worked on a really interesting project so far. And the most interesting part is that we both finished our masters the same time, the same university in South Korea, which is the Kyungpook National University in Daegu, one of the universities that has the largest population of international students, particularly Nigerians. Yeah, and he has served as the executive of the Nigerian Student Associations in Kyungpook National University, South Korea, and he served we're both executive at that same period. So he's a very good friend of mine, and he has transitioned to getting a fully funded scholarship as well in PhD. His master's was fully funded. His PhD is also fully funded with London South Bank University under the UK VRI scholarship scheme. And today is going to give us strategies and tips that's really will be helpful for you, and which will also help in cementing what you've learned from this week. I know some 10 minutes every day may look very short for some of for you to ask questions because it's just focused learning. Now it's the opportunity to ask any question you want to ask with respect to position yourself globally or to position yourself for scholarships. And currently the data science at Tulivate Limited in UK, and in Tulivate Limited, it's an uprising company that are really into educational and data focused services. They help immigrants, particularly to secure jobs when it comes to sponsored jobs, right? And they also help to do kind of a profile strategy for you to see where your profile fits, and they support you across all your educational or technological journey. And they also provide specialized services when it comes to some specific job like data science and what have you. And that's why we have the lead data scientist of Tulivate Limited UK with us today to help us not talk about how to get jobs in the UK, but how to get scholarship anywhere in the world. So without further ado, I will just stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to hand over to our erudite scholar who has had over 100 peer-reviewed publications and who has recently completed his PhD at the London South Bank University of Bioscience and Bioengineering Research Center. And congratulations, sir. There are many PhD holders, but at this moment, you are the latest and you are the most current, and we are really, really excited and happy to have you here. I remain my humble self, Tip Top Hamza, founder of Potently. Over to you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamza. Really appreciate the introduction. So, one other thing that you get to get wrong is I actually finished the best university in Nigeria, which is Paraty, not University of Ilorin.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. Can you please? Okay, yeah, Para State University, KSU.
Yeah, the,
That's
the,
true.
the best
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
university
yeah.
in Nigeria.
Para State University. Yeah, 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 yeah. I understand. Yeah, it's because it's like how do I put it? It's satellite university, so I just see them as extension of University of Ilorin. So, but anyways, I was hey guys, that's just a joke. Nobody should take that on me. So because it's under recording. Apologies. Is that Para State University? Melete to be precise. Yeah.
Yeah, my lady.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's such an honor to be here. Like Mr. Hamza has said, we were once colleagues in South Korea. We did our MSc together, and our journey through those times were very, very similar. So in today's section, we share my journey majorly with you guys. I moved all the way from Nigeria to South Korea. I'm from South Korea to here, and how my scholarship journey has gone so far. So we quickly share my screen with you guys. So I want this to be more of an interactive section. So if there's anything I'm saying you don't understand or you want me to repeat something, you can just raise my attention to that and we'll talk more about that. And one other thing, I believe everybody joining this call is also on the same path towards finding a fully funded scholarship, right? I think if I'm getting that right. Right,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Hamza?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, great. So let us dive in. Just a moment. Let me quickly share my screen. Mm, Okay. Okay. Is my screen visible enough? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, boss. We can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. Okay, great. So today I'll focus majorly on important strategy of how to get a scholarship, and like the title mentioned, the global scholarship strategy nobody tells you about. Because one thing I noticed when I was in Nigeria was most people actually talk about scholarship. Okay, I want to get a scholarship, I want to do this, I want to do that. But one thing I later concluded on is it's all a wishful thinking. A lot of people just say it, but what are they actually doing to back it up? Nothing. So you see, and I'm sure most of you should have experienced that during maybe your career. Maybe somebody telling you, I'm going to get a scholarship to the UK, I'm going to get a scholarship to the US, I need to get this scholarship, I need to get that scholarship. But on the long run, they are not putting in any effort at all. No research, no nothing. And another thing I also noticed is that when looking for scholarship, most people actually relies on how brilliant they are. Oh, maybe I have a first class in this, first class in that. Definitely, I'm going to get a scholarship. So it's not usually that case. So throughout this section, I'm going to tell you the step-by-step process on how you can be smart about your scholarship process. And one other myth that is being spread out there is that, oh, maybe it's only science students that can get a scholarship. or something like that. So that makes maybe science students more relaxed in some type of way. But now that is not actually true. You can get scholarship from any course you do. Maybe you are a science student focusing majorly in science. Maybe you are non-science student, maybe art kind of related courses, something like that. So scholarship is not usually selective. It depends on how determined you are. It doesn't really depend on the type of course you do. So no need to reintroduce myself, as Mr. Hamza has already done that for me. So let's just dive in. Okay. Okay, so I just prepare a simple slide to just help me with my thought process. Okay, so like I was saying, when you are thinking about scholarship at times, what is on most people's mind is English-speaking countries, maybe like the UK, US, Canada, uh, maybe at times Australia, something like that. So that is what is on almost everybody's mind. Okay, I'm going to get a scholarship to the US. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But now you have to look at it from another angle. If most people think about this in this type of manner, what that shows is that it's going to create a very big bottleneck. Now, you have a scholarship in which thousands of people are applying to. Almost everybody believes these are the countries that host the scholarship. Because of that, almost everybody that needs a scholarship is applying to these same countries. So that's a certain problem on its own. But there are also scholarship elsewhere. We have Finland, we have Korea, we have China, we have Austria. A lot of countries offer scholarship. We have Germany, but people don't usually look at these routes. But in my experience, I believe maybe people are not just maybe informed enough on this, or maybe they think, oh, these countries are not English-speaking countries, or maybe they have some other reasons why they don't know that. But according to my own experience, I believe maybe it's because they are not well informed about scholarship in other countries. So this is one of the major setbacks for people who are applying for scholarship, because you can take you can only take as much so much rejection. Imagine somebody applying to UK and US every time, and you keep getting rejection. Oh, you ask yourself one thing: oh, my result is strong enough, my application is strong enough, but why did I keep getting rejections? But one thing you don't understand is you are applying in a pool of thousands of other candidates for the same scholarship. So this does not solely rely on the strength of your scholarship. It's just the kind of bottleneck it creates. So, for example, I have actually marked for MasterCard Foundation. I don't know if most people actually know that scholarship. So I did mark for MasterCard Foundation, and I saw how this process actually works. A lot of people put in for this MasterCard scholarship, to the extent that when we are marking, you're going to see a lot of strong candidates, a lot, but there's a quota anyway. So those other strong candidates have to be dropped. And why some, maybe they're just little in just upgrading their maybe their research statements in some maybe unique form, just a little bit. And that's how they get in. So now I will take you through this strategy that nobody actually talked about. So let me map out the plan according to my own journey. So when I started this scholarship journey, I knew this, what I'm talking about, right? Because I also have people who took me through the whole process, who advised me on how to go about things. So the first thing they told me is try to apply to other countries. Okay, if your final goal is to get to the maybe United Kingdom or United States, you can go through other countries and use those countries as a stepping ladder to get into these countries. So with that, I was able to apply to a scholarship in Korea. And oh, there are so many scholarship in Korea. I just mentioned one here on my slide, which is called South Korea GKS. So there are so many scholarships. You can apply to any of them in Korea. So these are less popular destinations. Imagine the strong scholarship you are using to apply for maybe all this UK, US, or Canada, like maybe the MasterCard, the Chivney and Co. You focus that kind of energy into applying to all these South Korea, Finland, German, or maybe Denmark scholarship. There's a very high percentage that you're going to get in. Then once you get in, maybe you started your master's journey from there. Okay, you get in as a master's student. Oh, fine. You are able to finish your master's. And you think about it that, oh, this is just a stepping stage for me. I need to go to the US or Canada. Now, two thoughts appears in your head. Okay, should I go to US for another master's, or should I go to US to pursue my PhD program? So you can actually treat this sequentially. But one thing that you need to know is that studying in this country has significantly boosted you more than people maybe in Nigeria who are just applying just or in order applying just to be able to get in. Now, this has significantly boosted you. For example, given my own situation, when I finished in Korea, it was fairly a bit easier for me based on the kind of research profile I've created in Korea to get into the United Kingdom with a fully funded scholarship as well. And these are the kind of scholarship that people even think is very rare to get in the UK. So because I treat this as a step, so instead of just as a destination, this is just a step leading to a certain destination. I was able to position myself strategically to get to where I was going. So now, so that's just the step you need to think about. Don't think about it as just one sole destination. Think about it as the steps. Some people will say, okay, I don't want to go to this country to study because of this, because of that. But that's if you are treating that country as your final destination. So that's one thing you don't want to get yourself trapped in. You have to think, should I go to this country and use it as a step, or should I just sit down in one place and keep applying, keep applying, keep applying, and keep applying? And one thing you need to know about the human psyche is this. If you keep applying and applying for a scholarship, I will just give you maybe 10. If you apply for 10 scholarships and you are getting maybe a rejection, it kind of degrades your morale to be able to apply for more. Before you know it, you quit. So this is the kind of thing that you need to take note on. And it will shape your thinking that where I'm going, it shouldn't be that absolute. You need a step to get there, and you're definitely going to get there. So now, one very important thing we need to talk about. Now we've talked about scholarship, treating it as a step. One thing we need to look at is also what can actually get you shortlisted. So from this example, we take from okay. So I will take from the example of somebody I know. So this person is actually not a science student, and they apply for the GKS. GKS is a Korea scholarship. It's very, very it's tough to get into. Not really tough if you know what you're doing, but it's a bit tough to get into. So now this person is not actually a science student. So that means the person have maybe you think they have some sort of work on their hands that they really need to do. But this scholarship just treats every other student, put them on equal pedestal. If you're able to have if you're able to show a very good sense of impact, things like that, then you're here. So that's just what you need. So oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I think that it has been placed in the chat. That's DKLS scholarship. So now, if you're writing your statement of purpose, this is very, very important. You need to be very, very clear about why you want to do this program. Now, the mistake people make, and I think this is a very general misconception right now, is that when you want to write this thing, it's just maybe we're in the world of artificial intelligence now anyway, because then there wasn't any artificial intelligence. So you contact people who have gotten the scholarship, you get their own statement of purpose, you use it to draft yours. So you learn from them by using it to draft yours. But now people just feed all these things into artificial intelligence and it generates maybe just one genetic statement of purpose in which they end up submitting. And believe me, this is definitely going to get rejected. So if you're designing your statement of purpose, it is very important. It is very important to actually know why you want to study that program. It has to be more details. You need to show that you do your research, even about the university you are going to. You have to do your research. That is very important. Now, when I started this presentation just now, I mentioned that most people that want to get a scholarship, it's just more of a wishful thinking. People don't put in that research anymore. And this makes your statement of purpose or anything you're writing look like the other person. So how would they be able to differentiate yours? How would they be able to know that? Uh, how would they be able to give you more attention over thousands of statements of purpose they are seeing every day? So these are the kind of thing you need to know and pay attention to. Don't, in anything you are doing, in anything you are applying for, even if you are sending a letter to a professor at an institution, telling the person to give you a scholarship, make sure it is not generic. Try to avoid that. And even if you're using AI to draft this letter, make sure you read it and make sure you get somebody who has gotten that type of scholarship to read it for you as well, so that they are going to help guide you through. So writing this statement of purpose is very, very important, and it's very important you get it right. Another thing is the evidence and impact beyond your grades. And this is why I'm going to bring in the story of that my friend that I told you got the GKLS Korea scholarship. This my friend is actually not a science student. So what she was thinking about at that time is that, oh, this kind of scholarship are very difficult people like me to get into. But she did something that was so exceptional. When she was submitting, she gathered all the certificates she has, everything from primary school to secondary school, everything she had, she gathered it. Even if it's just a certificate of achievement for maybe cleaning something, she included it. If it's this thing, she included. So all these actually helped her a lot. Helped her a lot. And now she, when she was also writing like the cover letter, she demonstrated all this in it, and it helped her a lot. And she later ended up getting the scholarship. Anyway, so it is not just your grades that is going to open these doors for you. And that is why I see a lot of people at times thinking, oh, maybe because my grade is 4 point something out of 5.0 GDP, yeah, GDPA, we get shortlisted. No, it doesn't work that way, because those people see your grades. Oh, they look at it. Oh, this is a nice result. But what are the things backing it up? If there's nothing backing it up, then there's nothing your grade is going to rely on. So you can have a good grade and still lose a scholarship to somebody who has maybe a much lower grade. That's why today, if you see most people getting scholarship, ask them about their CV, surprised at what they're going to tell you. So you need more evidence beyond your grade. Your grade enough is not won't pull you through. And uh, and okay, and my third point is fits with the funding body goals. So, like I told you before, research is very, very important. It's very, very important. You need to, anything you're writing for them, you need to tailor it according to what that scholarship is about. So I just, there are some examples that I listed here, which, sorry. Okay. So there are some examples that are listed here. Now we are talking about the GKS, which is the Korean, this thing, the ones global ambassador for Korea. We have the Chivney, which wants future leader. And this Chivney one is very peculiar, because if you are writing for Chivney, you have to show, you have to demonstrate that you can be a global leader in anything you're applying for. And I think that is the reason why when you're done with Chivney, you have to go back to your home country. Yeah, you have to go back to your home country. So what they are doing is that they are building leaders that will develop their country. That's what this Chivney scholarship is about. So anything you are writing for Chivney, it has to always ring and end with that note that, oh, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be this, to be able to make more impact in my home country. So whenever you are doing, you are writing for scholarship, all this you have to take into consideration. Your statement of purpose has to be very powerful. It mustn't be generic. Your the evidence of impact has to show beyond your grade. You can't just be saying, oh, I have 4.0 in my CGPA, I have 5.0 in my CGPA, and I believe that's enough. If you have 4.0 in your CGPA without anything backing it up, like how you led you are a leader in your school, you are this, even if you are the prefect in your class at university, include it. If you are told to lead a certain project, include it. So putting all this together is going to give you a much higher shot and chance. And lastly, too, which is the fit with the funding body goals, you have to do your research. Research. Know what the scholarship is about. Do that before you can even start drafting anything. And the third point is building a scholarship-ready profile. So you need to know the kind of scholarship you're going to apply to for the start. So you're going to identify the scholarship you qualify for. So try to check it. I know almost all of us here, we are definitely going to qualify for GKS and Commonwealth and maybe Chivney. So there are a lot of scholarship out there. We have MasterCards too. So this scholarship, you just have to note them down. You have to follow their timeline as well. So don't just note them down and abandon them. Note them down, follow their timeline, know when they are going to expire, have your little calendar. Oh, this is what I'm going to dedicate to. This is what I'm going to do. So, and another thing is that don't just write those scholarships down. Each of these scholarships requires a lot of work. Scholarship, Commonwealth requires a lot of work. GKS requires a lot of work, and Chivney requires a lot of work. So put it in your calendar, know how many months or weeks you're going to dedicate to each. Don't mix them together. Don't say, oh, I'm applying for GKS. Okay, I'll also be writing the application for Chivney. I'll also be writing the application for this. No, don't do that. You have to separate them. Know when you're starting one, know when you're finishing one. And also the second point, write your why now before the application open. So like I told you before, you need to get your statement of purpose right. You need to get it right. And one thing I do, if you start applying for scholarship today, to get your statement of purpose right is very difficult. So one thing you need to do is that try to look for people who have gotten that scholarship as well. Let them talk to you, network with them. You can easily see them on LinkedIn. If you message somebody on LinkedIn, please help me read this, and the person doesn't, then you can easily just ask another person, just try to get somebody to read that thing for you. Okay, so I think I'll be fast now because I'm spending a lot of time already. So the third point, which I've also mentioned, find one academic contact in your target country.
Mr. Speaker, sorry to interrupt you. So it's a 2-hour session. So 1 hour for presentation, the 1 hour for questions that they have. So you don't need to rush through. Then another thing is, can you just like the Google Meet panel that is showing on your slide, you can just drag it to the side so that they can see your slide. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you can just exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And sorry for interrupting the flow. Yeah,
thank you for showing me that.
We're enjoying the ride.
I thought the Google Meet will automatically disappear. Well, yeah, I didn't think it right.
No, thank you. Google Meet doesn't do that. Zoom actually does that with Meet. Yeah, but Meet don't do that. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Please, you can continue.
Okay. So the third point is find one activity in your target country. So, for example, if you're going to Korea, you can actually maybe email a professor there if you know the kind of, okay, for example, when I was doing the GK, when my friend was doing the GKLS, she didn't just start immediately. She made sure that she got somebody who has gotten that GKLS scholarship before. So anything she wrote passed through that person. And this university that she was targeting to apply the GKLS, she made sure that she contacted the person as well. To contact the person as well and tell the person to check this university out for her. If this university is more lenient towards certain students of certain country, things like that. So she did make her research very well. And this is something that you too you also need to do. If you're able to write a very good statement of purpose, if you're able to get somebody who has gotten that scholarship before and show the person to check it out for you, believe me, your chance will drastically improve or increase more than somebody that doesn't even have any of this. So that's a very important strategy that you need to know. And my third point, okay. So one thing I want you to know now is that when we were searching for scholarship, then it was a bit it was a difficult process because we need to go through different websites, different university sites, and I think I followed board on Instagram. Then I think so. It was through those that I was running through, checking this, checking that, checking this, in order to put the scholarships together. So this was kind of very, very, very stressful because it takes a lot of energy out of you. Now you have to go to Korean university website to see if there's any scholarship available, and most of these websites are not even in English, so it's kind of difficult. You have to go through maybe German scholar university listening to see. So it's a whole lot of process. So now this is why this Kolawole.com is very, very important. So one thing you just need to do is just go on this site. It has already sections the scholarship for you. So the only thing you just need to do is just search for the scholarship and brings it out. You now have maybe more opportunity in choosing the country that you want to search the scholarship in. So it's kind of a very nice put together system that I believe if you're really serious about the scholarship journey, you really need to go through it. And this is going to save you a lot of headache instead of just navigating, going between different sites. So now, from this I compile a list of 3 things you need to take with you from what we've discussed so far. And which is the first is that scholarship go to strategic applicants, not just the highest scorers. So I think I've hammered more on this point. When you're looking for scholarship, you have to be very strategic. Don't base it on your CGPA. It doesn't work because to the people reading your scholarship application, CGPA is just one of numerous evidence that they need in order to give you the scholarship. Somebody who has a lower CGPA but demonstrates that he was a leader while he was in university, or has been a leader in maybe one professional field, will always get the scholarship more than somebody who is just banking it on their CGPA. So and that's one thing that has formed my opinion from the start, because when I was in school, I noticed that students who are maybe introverted don't usually maybe participate in things like that, like maybe leading any group project. So mostly are done by extrovert students. So, but in this particular case, the scholarship system isn't actually fair to the introvert students, because most of the introvert students just base everything on maybe having a good CGPA and that's it. Why the extrovert students doesn't only go about having the best CGPA, they also go out there to show other ways in which they can demonstrate their other potentials. So Just in case you are maybe on the introverted side, we just urge you that make sure you have some leading experience. Maybe make sure you have it, because on the long run, that is also going to count. It's not only your CGPA that is going to count. So you have to take that with you. You have to be very, very strategic. And the second point is that the international experience compounds. So, like I told you, don't treat your scholarship stage as a destination. Okay, look at it as a step, as a ladder. For example, I started my scholarship journey from Korea, knowing fully well that Korea wasn't my final destination. I was going to United Kingdom was my final destination, but I started from Korea anyway. I tried starting from when I was in Nigeria. I tried applying to UK directly, but it was very, very difficult for me as well. Putting for different scholarship, it wasn't working out until I saw somebody that gave me the relevant advice that, oh, you don't have to do it this way. Just have to see it as a step. Start from here, then easily you can get to where you're going. And this experience compound over time. Now, I got my scholarship to South Korea. When I was in South Korea, trying to get a scholarship in the UK. Now, know this, that I'm also applying for that same scholarship with some other people that are still in their home countries. But now, I've gathered several experience across different countries. So, if you think about it, who do you think this scholarship, if the person doing the application, if they receive it, who do you think this is going to favor more? It's definitely going to favor me more over somebody that is just applying without maybe any previous experience or exposure. So you have to treat it as a step instead of just as a step to a journey, or maybe as a journey rather, instead of as a destination. So have this at the back of your mind. And the application is okay. So you have to start building before the deadline open. This is also very, very important. Write down the scholarship you want to apply to. Is it Chivney? Is it MasterCard? Is it JKS? Is it there's so many scholarship in China too? So is it in Germany too? So many scholarships in Germany and the Commonwealth. So you have to write them down. You have to be strategic. Don't just go in and rush all the scholarship at once. Okay, write it down. If it is 3, you can apply to. If it is 4, you can apply to. Fine. Note them down. Then the ones you note down, start building. Start building from there. Okay, this is the first one that expires, that the deadline comes very faster. Okay, let me deal with this one first. Then when I'm done with this, start preparing the other one. Okay, the deadline of this one comes later. Then, so you have to treat them in stages according to your priority and how their deadline, how the deadline is fast approaching. So, and also, like I've been telling you, you don't really need to have a strong networking experience before you can get people to review your application. Just look for people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very, very, it's a very fast place to get people. And if possible, have mentors around you. Thank God you already, we have Mr. Hamza already, who is a very good mentor. So he already knows this kind of application process. He has gone through the rigorous review. So he knows it a lot. So mentors are very, very important. You have to have mentors that is going to guide you right, and mentors that is going to read your application. And any country you are going to, make sure you get somebody in that country. If you're going to Korea, search on LinkedIn to see if there's anybody that has gotten the scholarship you're looking for in Korea. Check it out. If you're going to China, search on LinkedIn, or to see if there's anybody in China that has gotten that scholarship. Then tell them to help you check it out. So you have to take this step by step. Make sure people check your application. Make sure that these people can confidently tell you that, oh, this application is good enough to submit. And if possible, tell them to share their own with you. Although you might have a very big problem in this in this kind of scenario, because people don't usually trust. People might not actually want to share with you, so it happens a lot, and that's why there's a you have this kind of system which is linked in to connect to other people that is going to help you out and maybe share theirs with you or review yours out. So these are the kind of things you need to put in mind. Number one, you have to be strategic. The second one, know that international experience compounds, and take time before you take time for the application writing. And yeah, I think that will be it for me for now. So I'm taking in questions. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kolawole Bode. You're actually right on time. So guys, I purposely did not add more stuffs to this particular session because I want you guys to have questions. So I want you to have a kind of enough time to ask any questions that you have with respect to your scholarships. And one thing before we open the floor for questions, you can just indicate your hands if you have questions. No question is small, no question is big. Ask any question, anything you think is blocking you. This is time for you to ask the question. But there's something I really need to tell you guys about the scholarships. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me and they'll be like, oh, I'm looking for scholarship. Or some will be like, I want a scholarship. I'm not the one giving the fully funded scholarships to any university. You need to come up to me. When you're coming up with me or anyone you're reaching out to in LinkedIn, you need to tell them specifically, what have you done? What do you need them to do for you? I've reviewed CVs, I've reviewed SOPs for people, but before I do that, I need to see the seriousness in you. I need to be able to see that you've done the work. But most people just want someone that will just spoon feed them. And that is why you're not getting the response. And at the same time, you're applying for Chevening scholarship. I have a lot of people now that they've never done anything in their life. They just finished university, they're not even class rep, they've not done anything, and they're saying, oh, they want to apply for Chevening scholarship. And Chevening just started 3 days ago, and it's today or yesterday that they decided they want to apply for Chevening. No preparation ahead. And you want to compare that with people like Hamzat Lawal. Everybody knows Hamzat Lawal. Hamzat Lawal is currently a Chevening scholar. He's in the UK currently now. He's the one that got last year. Hamzat Lawal is the founder and director of Code, Connected Development. Before then, he has done a lot of things. He has had about 15 to 20 years of experience in community service. He has helped in reforming policies in Africa. Globally, is recognized in UN. And these people have already been preparing before now. And then you just wake up this morning and you just like, go to Chevening and be like, oh, you want Chevening. And you're looking for who to stress. So the thing is that you have to prepare, you have to be strategic. There are generally about 8 categories of scholarships. So knowing which one is suitable for you is the best wisdom that you can have. There are some scholarships that are not advertised at all. And those scholarships are usually called research-based scholarships. And the easiest way to get those people is to send cold emails to the supervisor. It's the supervisor that will be telling you that, okay, yes, come and work with me. And when you're working with me, this is a scholarship that is available that you can apply. Sometimes even is a professor will even pay for your scholarship. But are you making the effort? How many cold emails have you sent? I've had, since last year till now, I've shared strategies, I've shared ebooks, I've shared templates to sending cold emails. But I have many people that have not sent one email in the last 2 weeks to any professor. That's one category. We have other categories like the GKS, which that requires you to apply through the government embassy. That's a different application track on its own. And with this bill, currently you don't have your transcript, and you just wake up, application is open, you want to apply. No, preparedness will always meet success, and it always beats hard work. And honestly, you cannot see anyone that will tell you that he has a first class, and because of that first class, he gets a scholarship. No, someone with a 2-2 or third class that prepares well will get a scholarship before a first class that did not prepare will get a scholarship. And how do you prepare? If you're looking, let's say now you're looking for scholarships or PhD scholarship in bioinformatics, have you started learning R programming? Have you started learning Python? Have you started working on projects? Have you attempted to take diploma courses? If you're going for policy wherever, have you tried to write some things on policies? How are you preparing? Do you even have your transcript ready? Someone reached out to me last week, and the person said he doesn't have a transcript and the scholarship, and his professor already replied that he should apply. But because the person reached out to me, he was able to get a transcript to submit without even having to go to his school. And I'll tell you how. It is not a cheat, is not a fake. It's just a legit way of getting a transcript. Remember, every semester you are giving your results. Yeah, yes or no? Can someone tell me, like, you know me, I like people to talk. You are always giving you're always giving that. Is that correct? So now imagine now when you have your semester for semester 1, semester 2, or for every level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and you finish graduating, combine all of that as one PDF. That is also transcript. The one you're going to get from the school is going to be the same thing as what you've been given at faculty level. You just look for your look for a camera or a PDF merger. You merge all of that. You use that at the submission stage. At submission stage, they don't need you to come up with your official transcript. You use that to apply. While you're applying, before you reach the stage that they'll select you and they'll ask you to come up with your official transcript, you have already started producing the official one from the university. And in most cases, university will have to send it to that university directly. But they'll need it when you're applying for scholarships. So that is why when you meet with people that have already worked the part and you ask relevant questions, you get relevant answers. And you can get these people readily from LinkedIn or anywhere, but just know exactly what you want, what you have to do, and what you've done. That is very, very important piece. So now, if you have your questions, you can either drop it on the chat or you can raise your hand up and we can start answering your question. But just know that there is no question is small, no question is big. So ask questions, guys. Let's ask questions. Let's ask questions. Any question, guys? Q&A.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, my question here is, like people with third class, did they have any opportunity in terms of having scholarship?
Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So, at the moment, most major scholarships are not actually taking third class. So I think that's a bit of a barrier with having a third class. But like I told you, you can actually be strategic about it. You don't need to go to the route of all these maybe big scholarship names like Chivnin, scholarships like that. So there are countries that offer university-based scholarship. For example, let's say maybe Korea. You can just look for a professor that is in your field. So most of these professors at times have maybe a fully funded project that the students can work on. So you can send cold emails to these professors, tell them why you are interested in their why you're interested in their work, why you want to join their work. So with that, there's a very high possibility in which the student that has a third class will be able to get into the lab of that professor. And with that, the professor will also sponsor the scholarship of that particular student. So yeah. Mr. Hamza, if you just want to chip in too, just in case.
Yeah, so let me just chip in. Yeah, so let me show you something quickly. Tell me any country or any scholarship or any university that you like, and I will show you something. So just for you to practicalize something for you to see. Just mention any university, Abdullah, quickly, or any country, Australia, Germany, anywhere. Okay, you're not saying anything. Let me say Deakin University in Australia. There's no time. So I want to show. So now this is Deakin University in Australia. You can see, I just searched on Google, right? And it tells you that this is scholarship. So I want to show you guys how, if you have third class, this is what you should be doing, right? So now what he explained is what I want to demonstrate for you. So you come over to Deakin. You come over to Deakin here. The next thing you're going to look for is that you're an international student. You can come over here. When you come, what are you looking for? Postgraduate degrees, right? You can come over to postgraduate degrees and see exactly what they have. Look at, we have, okay, this is, I'll open this in a new tab, and I'll also open this in a new tab. It also tells you when you want to start, right? Now, I'll just leave as this. Then you can also come over to research, where you're going to look for research groups. Now, if you have third class, this is what you do. Last year, I brought someone with 2-2 who is now a research professor. The person got fully funded scholarships abroad, and you guys had conversation with that person. Although not many people joined that session, it's usually a closed session. So now what happened, what the person did, and what many people do is that if you have second class, is that you don't go and be applying for Erasmus. Don't go and apply for Chevny. Don't go and apply. You can only go and apply for Chevny if you have years of experience to cover that. Don't go and be applying for MasterCard. Erasmus looks for MasterCard. Those people look for people that have strong academics or practical experience in terms of community development or whatever. Don't go and look for those ones. What you do is that you're going to look for university-based scholarships or professor-based scholarships. These are scholarships that is being given by university directly or given by researchers. And at those stage, they look for potential. Can you do the job? They don't look at your grades. Your grades contribute to less than 10% of the entire stuff that are going to look at in most cases, right? So when you reach out to those professors, you send them an email. But before you send an email, you have convinced them. Let's say you studied, let me look, what course did you study at the lab quickly? The person that asked the question. Okay, let's say you study biology, and you are looking for fully funded scholarships. What are you going to do? You're going to start looking for professors in molecular genetics. You look for professors in bioinformatics. You start looking for professors in biochemistry. You start looking for those. Now look at this. Study a research degree. What did you see here? It says find a research supervisor, find a research degree or PhD. Click on find a research professor, for instance. Okay, you come over to find it, and it tells you that what, how to find a research professor. The problem with most of us is that we are not even willing to even do the search. Just look at this. Within 5 minutes, it's even telling me the steps for me to do. Every university wants students to come over to their country, so they try to make everything possible available on the website for you to do. In fact, some even organize webinars. I've attended more than 100 webinars that is organized by schools in the last 1 year alone. It's not because I want to go to that school, but I want to see how are they doing things so that I can know how to do it for others. Now you come over to this place now, and it tells you how once you check that you're eligible to apply, you check your recent trend, you search for a directory of expert. Come over to directory of expert, it opens. And once the directory of expert open, you can either accept or reject. Search the keyword. You see molecular genetics. That's what you're looking for, right? Molecular genetics. And then you put search. And it brings you the list. You can see list of professors. And the interesting thing is that if you click on this one now, some of them will even tell you that they are available for supervision. Some will even tell you that they are available, that they're looking for PhD students, you can apply. Some will tell you that, but some will not say anything. All you just need to do is come over to copy their email. That's all you need. Copy the email, go to your Gmail, and you send him an email. Oh, I am this. I'm looking for this. But before you do that, you have done your homework. I've had a session last 2 weeks. I showed you guys how to use Notebook LM to do research. So you come over, you can just look at his research. Look at what he has worked on. You can work, right? So what I do for my mentees is that I show them a tool or how to use AI to summarize what the studies have been about. And then you use that AI to drive a template of the email, and then they edit that email and then send to that professors. They send that to professors every day. And once you get a professor that say yes to you, that is it. You are in for scholarships. So if you have two and above or and below, this is the approach that you're supposed to be using. And this approach has nothing to do with grades. You come over here again, you can look at another professor. You can come over to, let's just go back. Look at another professor. Some will tell you, okay, look at here, they even said availability for supervision. You can come over here and filter by availability for supervision. You see, all of these ones that you see now, they're available for supervision. So that's just how to search. And here is a full list, 69. And you turn this on, it brings, you can see 99. That's how you get to know which ones are available for supervision and which ones are not available. If you click on this now, it tells you that it's available for supervision. You can see available for supervision. They will even say, oh, they are looking for, some will even advertise on their website that they are looking for a PhD student. Some will say they are looking for this. And this is how it works. And this is what you should be doing every day. And I hope that genuinely answer your question. So any other question, guys? Oh, you're not seeing my screen? Hello.
Yeah, I was seeing your screen though.
Oh, okay, because I saw someone that dropped something that said, "Can you share your screen?" Yeah. So
Oh,
now,
that's good.
any other question? Okay, we have a question from Shuaibu Nuruddin. He said, "I'm applying for Chevrolet, which I've been preparing for more than
Yes, we
4."
can hear you, sir.
Yeah, we've been preparing for more than 4 years now. I'm developing my leadership and networking essay currently, and I want a perusal. I've connected with 4 Chevrolet scholars, and they are ready to review that. I just want as much mentors to review my essays. Yeah, that's nice. Mr. Speaker, are you available to review this?
Yeah, no problem. But I'm not really an expert on Chivney.
Yeah, so
So I think you said you have 4 Chivney scholars that have reviewed it already, and
yeah,
with let me see, for more than 4 years. Oh,
yeah.
and another thing is, have you ever tried maybe applying for others, like maybe MasterCard or something like that?
Yeah.
So is the
So
person online with
yeah,
us?
so what I would suggest is you can send it to me. I can help you to review as well. So you can send it to me. I'll help you to review that. So you can just send it to me on WhatsApp or on email, and I'll help you to review that. And any other
Yes.
question?
Yeah, sorry.
Any,
So just in case, please make sure you also try to apply for other scholarships as well. It's very important. Now you've applied for Chivney for 4 years. That's a lot of experience gathered over those years. So you can also try other scholarship like maybe MasterCard or something similar as well. So yeah.
Yeah, if I may ask, Shuaibu Nuruddin, can you please tell me which field, which field you are in, and I can just instantly recommend scholarships that will be relevant for you. You can unmute your mic, Shuaibu
Okay.
Nuruddin. Yeah.
Okay, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I studied microbiology, and for the Chevening Scholarship, I want to apply for epidemiology of infectious disease and antimicrobial resistance.
Oh, that's nice. It's actually a trending opportunity. It's a trending how will I put it? It's a trending topic, honestly. And I think Erasmus has a scholarship that is particular for epidemiology as well. Let me just Erasmus epidemiology. I may not spell this right. Scholarship. Yeah, they have something. Yep, I can see this is Health Science Erasmus Rotterdam. Yep, they have. Yep, they have similar. You can see they have similar scholarships based on that you want. So I think you should also try to apply for that as well. And you applying for Chevrolet is a good choice because Chevrolet will not just expose you to the research or anything; they'll also expose you to the global application. And then the good thing is that there are some scholarships that if you get them, you are probably made for life if you want further scholarships, and Chevrolet is one of them. Erasmus is one of them. These are scholarships that once you're part of it and you're applying for PG or anything anywhere and they saw that logo Erasmus, honestly, it's hard for them to say no to those kind of people. So I'm happy to help you review, but you can please consider other university. And also you need to be able to define, are you kind of looking for research based or you're looking for Toastmasters? Because Chevrolet is Toastmasters. So if you're not looking for research, then there's no point to go through university-based scholarship because university-based scholarships are usually research-based. I don't know whether that makes sense to you, Nuruddin. So if you want to research here, you can as well just come over to any university that you like. Just the same approach I demonstrated. Just go to the university, go to find a professor, search by what you want, and look at the professors there. Start sending them emails, okay? So you can just send me your Chevrolet and I'll review, but start looking for other scholarships because you hardly see anyone that just say they applied to one scholarship and they get it. So they'll tell you they apply to multiple. Only few is all rare cases that you see they just apply one time and they get. Like for instance, for me right now, while I was applying for scholarship, I did got Commonwealth scholarships in 2016. But then I was in NYC. I had the opportunity to either leave my NYC and go for the Commonwealth scholarship or wait and finish my NYC. But then I wasn't even convinced that I wanted to leave Nigeria. I wanted to stay in Nigeria genuinely because I wanted to work. And I already knew that I wanted to work in e-commerce company or I want to work in FMCGs. So, but fortunately for me, I did work in e-commerce. I worked in Jumia, I worked in FMCG, I was targeting PZ, but I ended up being in Orange Drugs, Orange Groups Limited. So, and after testing all of those, I'll be like, okay, now I wanted to start something new. I want to test something new. And I set up, which is research. I was the best graduating student in my department, and I wanted to start research. And I was like, okay, there's no another country I wanted to go there than South Korea. And that's simply because I have someone that looks more like a mentor already there for me. So it was just kind of easier because I don't want to go to a country and start struggling alone, right? So that's just another thing. So you need to be able to know exactly what do you want, and what exactly excites you. Like, what is your kick in life? What is your kick when it comes to opportunities? Okay, so if you open for research, there are many routes for you, and the fact that you've been preparing for the past 4 years shows that you are more than ready. You just need to start submitting your applications or reaching out to professor. So Nuruddin, I'm rooting for you, and I wish you the very best in everything you're doing. Feel free to reach out to me. I can help you to review, provided you've done your homework. I got you. But if you've not done your homework, sometimes I may not even respond if I notice that someone has not done what it's supposed to do. Okay. So if you have any,
thank you very-
all right, you have a follow-up question?
Okay, sorry for cutting you up, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so go on.
Okay, I want to say, if I want to contact you, I only see you on Facebook, so I don't know if that is the good way to contact you about the review for the
So
EC.
anyone that attends any session I have unrestricted access to me. I'm not that hard to find, so my WhatsApp number is just being shared over there. You can just message me on WhatsApp, and if you want my email, it's over here, tiptophamza@gmail.com, and readily available for you. Provided you've done your homework, I'll be there to support you as much as I can. Okay, so we have a question from, okay, I think sorry, Nuruddin, that was rude. I should have asked you if you have any follow-up question again before I move to the next person. Do you have any follow-up question?
No, I just want to say a very big thank you, sir. And for the other opportunities, I'm exploring them. The way I did things is that I have to research, then I see how I'll get ready better, so that if I apply, I will know that definitely, inshallah, I'm going to get it. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's actually a good strategy, but a better strategy will have been for you to map out the list of scholarships or countries that you have in mind. Then you start preparing for them one after the other, instead of mapping out and preparing for one before you start another one. You understand what I'm trying to say? Let's say you've already mapped out that, okay, these are the 5 scholarships I want, then you can start preparing for one after because sometimes all of these scholarships come up at the same deadline. And most scholarship application opens from around this time, from August, that's the early. And by September, a lot of scholarships is opening, a lot of intakes in September. And if you're targeting September, October entering, this is the best time for you to start sending emails. And there are some scholarships that does not really require you to really prepare that much, especially if you want to research, because many professors have funding available. They are only looking for the right students to come in. So if you start sending emails to those professors now, I can guarantee you that you probably get a response from someone, and they'll tell you that go ahead and apply. And once the supervisor tell you that go and apply, just know that you've gotten that scholarship. Honestly, in most cases, because the supervisor is going to be the one to stand from you, is the one, and they'll tell you that you should mention their name in the application, right? So and I think that's all from your end. I think we have another person here, which is Soli Olaide. You have a question?
Good evening, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Actually, my questions goes thus. Number one question is that for someone applying for scholarship, is it compulsory to have all these kind of international exam like GRE, GMAT, and 12, something like that? So, and secondly, is that someone that is applying for scholarship and having aim of getting the scholarship, I think, is it compulsory for the person to have his or her international passports by now? So that's the second one.
Okay.
Okay. Can
I
continue?
Yeah. Okay. You have more question? No. Go on. Our speaker is ready. He's ready for you. Ask more question.
Okay. And the next one is, let's assume someone that study educational course during his undergraduate. Let's say someone that studied maybe business education or agri education, and having intention of pursuit is master. Maybe let's assume someone that study business education now wish to further his master in business administration or business management or HR management, something like that. So is it possible for the person to just cross like that, or is there any other thing the person has to do before just choosing that particular course like that. That's my question.
All
now,
right.
sir.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, over to you. So I
Okay,
always allow you to do the honors, then I can add anything if necessary. So Mr. Speaker,
Okay.
over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So you asked 3 questions. So the first being, anybody that is applying for scholarship, should they have like an international certificate, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's not actually the case. So that's why if you are applying for more scholarship, you're going to see maybe GCSE or equivalent. So you don't need to have the maybe any international certificate before you can apply for scholarship. What you hold in Nigeria is already enough to apply for scholarship. You have your bachelor's, and maybe in rare circumstance, if they ask for maybe your Y Coneco in rare circumstance. So you don't really need to have for this international you don't have to take maybe most of the exam taken by maybe Americans or British American colleges or something like that. So you don't really need to have that. You just need your results, your BSc results, and any other thing that is being asked for. And for the second one, you asked about, can you repeat the second question again?
I think the second question is about international passport or IELTS, all of those things, yeah.
So for the international passport, in fact, one of the first things that will show that you're serious to apply for scholarship
is
is
to have international passport.
Yeah, if you don't have that, believe me, nobody's going to take you serious. Because if anybody comes to me and says, "Oh, I'm looking for scholarship," I'm going to ask the person 2 questions. First, number 1, do you have your transcript available? If the person says yes, oh, fine. Do you have your international passport? If the person says no, then I know that the person is not serious. So you need your international passport and your transcripts. In fact, if you're filling up most of these exams, you need to impute your passport number. So for you to know how compulsory it is.
Yeah, in some of those applications, you need to put in. Some will even ask you to upload the data page.
Exactly. So you need that. And for the IELTS, okay, so that one is a bit on this on a different part. So there are different type of scholarship. Some can accept. That's why you need to research into the scholarship you're applying for. Some will accept just a proof of English proficiency from your university. So some are, but some really do want IELTS. So you have to make sure that this scholarship requires that before you sit down to do IELTS, because IELTS is expensive and it has expiring date.
Yeah,
so you have to,
it's expired every 2 years. Yeah.
So
Mr. Speaker, before I forget, can I just chip in something here before I forget?
Sure.
Yeah. So generally, if you are targeting countries like UK, IELTS is what you should go for. But if you're targeting countries like US, GRE is what is needed. So you need to know which of these exams you have to write, right? And another thing is that most countries, if you're in Nigeria now, most countries in Nigeria, most scholarships or most countries recognize Nigeria as an English speaking country, but you just need a letter from your university telling them that, okay, the medium of communication throughout your scholarship is in English language, and that's it. And if it's in the UK, some universities will even just ask you for your WAEC if it has not passed a part. Yeah, but for sometimes they'll do ask you to write English, proof of English. So it's not just IELTS, there are other alternatives. In fact, some scholarship accept Duolingo. The Duolingo that you guys see as it is readily available and is not serious something. Some scholarship just accept Duolingo exams, right? There's an exam that Duolingo does. Some accept Pearson. I can remember, Mr. Speaker, I think when you're coming for your PhD in UK, it wasn't IELTS you used Pearson. Is that correct? Mr. Speaker, looks like your mic is mute.
Oh, yeah, it was muted.
Yeah,
so,
you used Pearson, right? Was it Pearson you used or IELTS? When you were
I used, yeah, it's Pearson I used. Yeah, it's Pearson.
I can remember it was Pearson. I can remember with that time here. So you can see, so there are different kind of exams that you can write to prove your English. But the general rule is that if they don't ask, then it's not needed. You just need to get a letter and that suffice. However, if you can write it, I encourage people to just write it because it just eliminates doubts and it increases your chances somehow, if that will matter. But there are scholarships that don't really care about that. Okay. And then that's just what I wanted to chip in. Then for the third question, he was asking a question about transitioning. And he gave from one field to another, and he gave instance of somebody that is in business admin, you want to go for another course and all of that. And I think this kind of ties down to the question, the catch-up we're having with Hannah before we join, where I did mention transferable skills. So most scholarships, they're not looking for something directly that's from what you've studied. They're looking for, okay, this thing you want to do, especially if it's research-based, do you have a transferable skills to do that? Or do you have the research prowess, the potential, the capability, the ability, and all of that that you can think of, right? Do you have them? If the answer is yes, and they are convinced that you have them, they don't care. I'll give you an instance. I studied agriculture from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Sorry, that wasn't the perfect introduction. From the most prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Now I've introduced myself, yeah. So I studied agriculture from the most prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, the university with the largest library, right? In what? All those.
No, that's Kwasusa. That's Kwasusa.
Sub-Sahara. Oh my God, yeah. All those kind of political idiaga we used to use then. Anyways, yeah, I'm proud to be on the other side, and I'm not apologetic about that. So guys, as I was saying, I finished from Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, and I studied agriculture. I specialized in agronomy. And when I finished, I went to work in an e-commerce, Jumia. After e-commerce, I moved to a sales. And when I went to go for my master's, I went into cancer research. Can you see the gap? There's no direct connection, honestly. Right? And I had about 3 publications within my master's when I was in my master's. So what I'm telling you this is that it's not about the transitioning is all about the transitioning is all about alignment. The transitioning is all about alignment. That's the most important thing. Transitioning is all about alignment. Whatever you are going for, you want to prepare yourself for it, you need to make sure that you are aligned to it, and then you try to transition. If you're moving from, and another thing I just want to mention is that you may have studied what is called agronomy in Nigeria, may not be called agronomy in another country. It may be called crop protection. So you need to just look at the content of that course. And if you have elements of it from your own course or from your own experience, my friend, go for it, my brother. And once you go for it, you usually get it. They look beyond all of those things that people like. What I think is we mostly used to like box ourselves into something. Let me come back to our speaker now. You can see our speaker here. The lab he had was in Bioscience and Bioengineering Research Center. So now I'll allow our speaker to tell us what he studied in BSc, what he studied in MSc, and what he did in PhD. And then you yourself, you still see that it's not like a direct connection, but because he's a very strong computational skills, that can be computational knowledge, and he had computational background, he could apply that in different fields. And that is the transferable skills that they're looking for. When someone sees bioscience or bioengineering, he didn't study agriculture, he didn't study biology, he didn't study anything related to biology, but this is where he did his PhD, neither in his master's or in his BSc, but this is where he did his PhD. Right. So, and look at the number of publications that he had within just those period from masters to this moment, over 122. Right. So I'll just hand over to him, and then he's just going to recap, and then on this question, then we'll move to the next question if there's any. Mr. Speaker, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamza. So, Mr. Hamza has already answered it. Really, so you need very, very important. But one caveat that I wanted to add is that whenever you want to apply to any scholarship as well, you really need to read more about that particular kind of scholarship. So for now, the general umbrella is that you can easily move, but there are some countries that you can move, but it's not going to favor your application that much. And I think that's Austria. Yeah. I think Mr. Hamza should know about Austria. So Austria, if you want to do any scholarship, maybe apply for any course in Austria.
It has to be fully aligned. It has to be fully aligned to what
it has to be aligned. So you can jump. In fact, if you even want to jump, UK is the United Kingdom is the right place to do that. We want to
Or
move.
Australia, right?
Yeah, we want to. So moving field is not actually very difficult, but you need to be able to prove your case. It's very, very important. For example, you study maybe business in Nigeria. You want to move to maybe computer science related lab in Korea. That means you need to know programming in a certain way for you to be able to cross. So you need the transferable skills for you to be able to move over. So you can't just imagine that, you can't just believe that, oh, because I do this, it will be easier to move over. No, because you're not the only one applying for that scholarship. People that are more aligned are also applying. So you need something that is transferable and you have to be able to tie it to your story. So yeah, that should be it. So any follow-up question from?
Yeah, the person that asked the question, do you have any follow-up questions, please? That's Soliu Olaide. Any follow-up question?
Thank you so much. For now, no any question for now.
All right, thank you so much. I think the next person we have here is Soliu Mukhtar Olawoyin. Do you have can you mute your mic and ask your question, please?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Buzz.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. When you are talking about bioinformatics, so about learning the bioinformatics and gaining all those skills, I want to ask that if you want to apply for scholarship, do you need like as much as certificate you can have? Maybe when getting skill, or you just need to have maybe 1 or 2 certificates to be able to apply for the scholarship, or a large amount of or many amount of certificates will be good to apply for the scholarship. Then
Go on.
currently I'm a microbiology undergraduate in the University of Ivory. So I want to ask if you have maybe any suggestion for undergraduate students that want to apply for scholarship when they finish their BSc.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that question. So because you started with the bioinformatics question, and I'm a bioinformatician myself, so I will start at our attempt to just wet the ground in answering the question before our speaker take over. So now first,
not your fault, sir.
Yeah. So here's what I used to tell people: there's a difference between certificates and a relevant certificates. Okay. So now, if you have relevant certificates, it's good, use them. But if it's not relevant, there's no point. But in terms of what really matters, in terms of bioinformatics, if I want to get a master's or PhD or anything in bioinformatics, this is the only one thing I'm going to do right now. I'm going to either pick one programming language, either R or Python. I will learn it. And once I learn it, I will look for a publication. It could be the publication of the supervisor that I even wanted. I'll look for their publication, download the data set from NCBI. I will analyze it to make sure I get the same result that the person gets. And once I've analyzed that result to get the result that they have in that publication, I will deposit in GitHub. And once I deposit in GitHub, I'll now send an email to that professor. And when I send email to that professor, I'll say, hey, professor, I am Mohamed Tawfiq Hamza. I won't even start with Mohamed Tawfiq. Like, oh, I have seen your work on maybe epigenetic analysis or gene expression analysis in breast and prostate cancer, and it directly resonates. I'm just reading this off. It's unplanned, so if it doesn't have to sound perfect, just go with the flow and catch the concept. And you'll be like, oh, it directly resonates with my undergraduate background in microbiology, where I had a thesis on social topic in prostate cancer. And since my undergraduate till now, I've been able to learn, or I've mastered maybe for RNA-seq analysis or chip-seq analysis, and to demonstrate my readiness for a master's, I've attempted to reproduce the results in your publication, and kindly find below my GitHub repository to see my analysis, and I will be indebted to you, or I'll be happy to advance my career under your supervision as a master studies. If you have a scholarship in mind that you're applying for and you needed him, mention it. If you don't have any, leave it. And I bet you, except that professor does not need a student, he's going to pick you. I'm being honest this time around. It's a strategy that I've given out. It has always worked. So it's what I would do for bioinformatics. It doesn't even really matter anymore if you have any, it doesn't matter anymore if you do have certificates or all of that. What the person needs at that moment is somebody that will be able to analyze or somebody that will be able to do experiments. And you've demonstrated that you can do that. The next thing is going to do is going to have a session with you to discuss with you and to see how well do you speak in good English, and also to see how do you reason. How will you be able to manage the pressure in the academics? That's the only thing that will limit you from getting any scholarship or even work. And some supervisors will go as far as even paying for your school fees if there's no any from the research project that they have, because they want to employ you as a researcher and you've demonstrated that you are a researcher. I don't know whether that makes sense. So that's for that. Then if you're an undergraduate student, there's one thing that most of us don't know. You see, there are some students that looks like they are not serious in 300 level, 200 level of those things. You look at it, they're not serious, but most of them already have their plans. They already know what they want to do next. I have friends that immediately we finish our undergraduate, they got job directly in UK and they're in Nigeria. These guys have been preparing for long. We didn't finish from the same school. They're from University of Lagos. Those kind of people, they've already done internship with McKinsey. They've had internship with P&G. While they were still students, they were doing internship with all these top organizations. And the moment they finished, they started applying to those. They started applying for graduate programs in those schools, in those companies, and not even Nigeria, in the UK. And before you know anything, you see them, they're working in the UK, and you'll be like, how did they do it? They started preparing. There's what is called positioning and alignment. You need to start doing that right now. As undergraduate students, if you're doing your thesis, make sure you do everything as you, and in fact, you can even meet with your supervisor that this thesis, I want to do it and I want to publish it, right? And then you're going to do a rigorous work and you publish. Start going for conference. I have someone just joined. There's someone that joined us right now. The person just did his defense 3 days ago, 4 days ago. But right now he's already in a 2 weeks conference in Ekiti. So he's one of my mentees, right? He's already in the conference in Ekiti. So he's already positioned, he's studying statistics. So by the time he finishes and he's applying, and his supervisor or the scholarship committee are saying that, oh, this person have gone for a conference, even if he doesn't present. These are the things that you end up doing day to day in masters and in PhD. And this person is already doing it. He's already started learning Excel. He has learned Excel. He's already learning Python and all of those things. While he was still an undergraduate student, he is already positioning himself. He's already volunteering. Right now, he's even volunteering for Potently as well again. And he's also volunteering in his university as well for other organizations, all of that. So whatever criteria they want to use to get a scholarship, he's already checking those boxes. And when he's ready to apply, he just needs to start applying. That is what they say when they say preparedness. When preparedness meets opportunity, it is equal to success. So as an undergraduate student, start preparing. If you don't have a good grade, there's no problem. There's alternative to it. Start building the shock absorber to it. And those shock absorber is all about the projects you've done, your experience, and all of that. And I think I've said too much. I'll allow my speaker to wrap this up. Then we'll go to the next question. Over to you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
We've already discussed the main points, I think. Yeah. So.
Okay, so if that's the case, do you have any follow-up question, Soli, Mukhtar, or Alawi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will.
Yes. Okay, go on. Your follow-up
Yes, sir.
questions.
You say you are a bioinformatician. So that I want to ask you some. Currently, I'm writing my seminar topic. I'm writing my seminar, which is my topic is reverse fascinology. So it's on reverse fascinology. So I don't know if I can reach out to you and ask about some things.
Yeah, no problem. You can reach out to me. Provided, again, guys, you can reach out to me on different things. Sometimes I don't know what I stand for, sometimes because of how much I've dipped myself into different things. Okay, I have people I teach data analysis. I have people I teach bioinformatics. I still work 9 to 5, and I'm a father as well. You can hear my daughter. She just woke up, and then she's already missing her dad, because usually this is the time we usually go for walk with her, and then I do play around. So once ever she wake up from her nap, the first person she wants to see is her dad. So, but I do all of those things. But the only thing I request for people is when you're coming to me, be specific. And being specific does not mean that you should know what you want. If like, oh, I'm confused. 2 days ago, someone sent me a message. Oh, I have exams next week and I'm kind of confused. Like I read and I forget. And I usually don't see it as something big deal, but I think it's a big deal now. What do you recommend? And they're like, okay, fine. Have you tried to use the active recall session we've learned the AI tools to create flashcards to improve your memory? And I'm like, oh yeah. And then he said it's working. Well, you just still want to talk to me again. And okay, fine. I called him yesterday while I got off the train. He wasn't picking, and I'm still going to call him back today. Why? Because he has done something, he has something specific. But I have some people just message me, hi, waiting for me to respond before they make their request. That doesn't make sense. Or some they'll just be like, oh, I have this is someone to write for me. No, I don't do that. Potently, and that's why I build potently to bank high potential and not just high grades. So whatever you are doing, I look at your potential and I back you up. And if it's not something I can offer for free, I'll refer you to someone that is going to charge you for less. But in most cases, I don't charge people for anything. So you can reach out to me based on that. If it's not on scholarship, since your follow-up is not on scholarship, you can cycle back on that separately. So if you don't have any follow-up question, I think Shoaib already has his hand up. If you have any question, you can ask your follow-up question before I hand over to the next person to ask the next question.
No, that is all, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you, Soli Mukhtar. Looks like we have 2 Solis. That's nice. Tribal.
Somebody, Miss Rofia, to me, Fadi also asked some questions.
Okay, she dropped a message. Okay. Let's deal with that. So someone without experience can't apply for scholarship. No, so that's not true. Someone without experience can apply for scholarship, but it depends on the kind of scholarships that you want to apply for. I have a series that I'm doing on I'm currently making, and it's because of questions like this. And I just updated. I'm going to add 4. It's about 15 episodes. I've only made 4 episodes. So this particular episode on the 8 types of scholarship explained and which you qualify for is going to help you in understanding these questions very well. So if you just type the Ricky Analyst on YouTube, and I've dropped the link over there, so you can just check. So generally, there are different types of scholarships, right? So the kind of scholarship that you apply for will determine the kind of requirements that is needed. So let's say you are applying for Chevron and you don't have any experience. Honestly, the chance of you getting that scholarship is very narrow. To be honest, the chance is very narrow, to be honest, if it's Chevron. But if you're applying for other kind of scholarships that doesn't matter about experience, they don't care about experience, right? Then it doesn't matter. The problem we have is that you are applying for you are qualified for scholarship A, but you are applying for scholarship B, or you have a profile for scholarship C and you are applying for scholarship D. So it's just like carrying what belongs to Paul and you're giving it to Peter, and you expect Paul to tell you thank you. And when I mean Paul Peter, I don't mean P squared. Okay, I don't want to be entangled in that. So guys, it's not that's just a quick one about that. So I don't know if our speaker has anything to add to that before I call on Shuaibu to ask his own question. Mr. Speaker, do you have anything to add to that, please?
Not really. You've already nailed it on the head. So it depends on the kind of scholarship you're applying for. Some you really need to have a work experience, some you don't. But in all you do, try to have other experience, maybe like leadership experience, so that you won't end up just presenting your certificate only for the scholarship. Because while you are just applying based on your certificate, others are adding other things like leadership experience, things like that. So make it as robust as possible and don't rely on your certificate only. But concerning the question, yes, you can apply for scholarship without any work experience. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and that's a very solid addition. In fact, it should be the most important takeaway for you that has that particular question. And again, before I hand over to Shuaibu, most of us focus on scholarship, but there's one other thing that is called fellowships. So most people don't look at fellowships. You may be qualified for fellowships, but either you're looking for scholarships. Fellowships are also good alternative also. For instance, the Young Professional Program by World Bank is a 2 years professional fellowship program, and where they pay you to learn. And once you finish, you stand a chance of getting hired. But that 2 years is just like a job, but you are learning. That's fellowship. And there are some that are a bit shorter and it's not maybe like professional, but you get paid and it's going to give you the boost, like the Mandela Washington Fellowship. We have the YALI, Young African Leadership Initiative. We have even other fellowships that come in form of scholarships, which is called the PASET, P-A-S-E-T, PASET Regional Scholarship. That's particularly targeted at African countries. And let me even be honest with you guys. Let's say I rewind back to 8 years ago. Okay, I finished university in 2015. That was about 10 years ago. If I rewind, I started wanting to go for scholarship around 2019. That's when I decided I want to study abroad, right? Before then, I don't want to leave Nigeria. And even right now, I'm still planning to come back to Nigeria because I really want to give back to my people where they are, okay? So the most important thing I just want you guys to know is that there are some scholarships that is called in-country scholarship. One of them is the Pan-African Scholarship. That Pan-African Scholarship is that you can be studying in Nigeria and they'll be paying you in dollars. You get a scholarship, they'll pay for your school fees and they'll still be giving you monthly spent in dollars. And then you'll be collaborating with universities outside Nigeria. That's Pan-African Scholarship. And just a Google will tell you that Pan-African Scholarship. There's another one, which is the PTDF in-country scholarship, also work like that. Another one is PASET. So let me just do that for you so that you can see. So look at this now, this Pan-African Scholarship. So that's just to tell you that there are different kind of scholarships or fellowships that it's just all about. You can see this is PAU scholarship. The Pan-African is an initiative of blah, 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 blah. It's sometimes but the thing is, when you don't know something doesn't exist, you are not to be blamed. You can see. So this is this is a very good scholarship, which is in country, and you have the chance to even travel abroad for your research, thesis, and all of that. So why I'm just showing you this is just for you to know that there are different type of scholarship. We have the PASET, right? PASET RSA, which is usually for PhD. This is PASET here. Look at it. Grants and scholarships available. And they all work in different ways, different modalities. And currently you can see, it's now open and it's closing on the 16th of September. What did I tell you guys earlier? Most scholarships application, this is the period. It's either they are opening or they've opened. That's the two cases. And it's very important for you now to be strategic about it. So you can see this for you that if you're looking for PhD, this is it. And there's, I think it's Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa, all that. And there's the ones that is even for Asians, which if you are from Pakistan, all of that, there's also those kind of scholarships. So it's just all about you trying to know which scholarship is meant for you. I think that's that about that. And we'll just have the next person, which is Shuaibu Nuruddin. Can you ask your question? And we'll just take either one more question and we'll wrap it up. So Shuaibu Nuruddin, your question, please.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so regarding the advice you've given me about applying for scholarship, there is a training I'm currently undergoing on microchip design. So it's a 6-month training. So I'm finishing it on September. So while undergoing the training, I know that I come from microbiology background and I want to merge it with the technology that is the development, the upcoming technology of chip design. So I want to develop a biosensor which is capable of detecting some biomarkers for antimicrobial resistance. And I've even started doing that. So I want to apply for a scholarship in bioengineering. I've been engaging with ChatGPT to tell me specifications. So it's telling me that the idea is good, but I just want human input. So that's why I'm asking, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that's a very interesting question because the question you just asked now, it intersects with the experience that both the speaker and myself had. So maybe I should hand over to the speaker first, or I should just start saying one or two things? Because I'm really interested in what you just mentioned.
Yeah, please start first.
Yeah.
So I can just add in.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in what you say, because, and this is what researchers are looking for: ability for you to think beyond to think beyond the generic research. You're already one step ahead of many people that are looking for scholarship, because you already have a viable, a fundable, and a doable, and probably even a novel research that you're already open to do. While you may not directly have people that will do directly have professors that are doing something like that, but you have professors that are doing something similar, or professors that will want you to come and work with them, and you can take that as your own research, your own PhD thesis. Like one of my friend, Dr. Ahmed, he did his own research. He finished in Netherlands, Wageningen University. And if you're looking for agriculture related university, Wageningen is probably one of the best in the world, right? He was an Erasmus scholar, right, before moving for that scholarship. And he did his own research on more like kind of invaders, using invaders to like more like in agriculture. So he tried to treat all these kind of viruses, but using a different approach that has never been thought of. And that award, that's research, got an award in Netherlands. He got an award as a PhD research of the year in Netherlands, and with a monetary compensation. So why I'm mentioning this is that when he started that, it's probably going to look like a weird. It's something that he already had in grad I want to do, but that wasn't the research he got. That wasn't like the project that was sponsored. That sponsored his PhD directly. But because it is similar to something else, he was doing that and also doing his PhD. And before you know anything, everything is going to marry up together. So it's a very good and a very interesting idea, which I'm happy to have a session with you after outside this. After this, I can give you like a 30-minute. We can have a conversation. Let me see what you've done, and I can give you kind of a raw idea from my experience. And when you mention biomarkers, it's very important, because right now I just submitted a paper, and what the paper is just computational analysis, right? In prostate cancer, liver cancer, and breast cancer, and I just use kind of a computational biology to detect some non-coding RNAs that will serve as a potential biomarkers, right, in diagnosing for cancers. So everybody is doing different things, different approach to come up with a solution in either to detecting biomarkers that will either slow down cancer, or that is responsible for making cancer to proliferate, to increase. Because if you know that this is the thing that is making cancer to spread, then you can stop it and see whether cancer is going to work. And in fact, during my master's, the research I worked on was on arsenic tetraoxide, on how it can help in preventing breast cancer, right? In treatment of breast cancer. And that drug is already patented in US in 2020. But the funny thing about that research is that arsenic oxide on its own is poisonous, but a variation of the compound has the possible tendency of being a treatment for cancer. You can see how interesting, and look at the dilemma. I'm just giving you this for you to really understand that your idea may look like they are two different things, but they are very marriable. And the fact that it's even microchip, and you bring you are bringing computation into biology, it's probably the most viable project right now in biology. Now, before, when you do an experiment, you can just publish, but these days you have to add it up with computational analysis, either RNA-seq, chip-seq, ribo-seq, SC-seq, whatever seq, which is generally referred to as high throughput sequencing. But now you are coming up with microchip, and microchip is being in China now, they're trying to use microchip for a lot of things, even for paying for when you buy something in the supermarket, they're trying to use microchip, or even fingerprints, all of those things. So it's not just a it's like a biotech. It's not just a research, but it's a biotech revolution and a very solid idea. And I don't think you should let it down. Keep working on that, and you could even get a startup fund for that, and you could start an R&D company with that over time, provided your idea is patented, right? And then it's unique. So and at the same time, you should just try as much as possible, because this is easy to replicate ideas. You have to be careful and selective with the kind of things you discuss out, right? So you won't end up your years of work will not, and this is my sincere advice, okay? So that your years of work won't just go down the line for someone else simply because the person has more resources or is smarter than you. So I'm happy to have a kind of, to help you give a human touch to your suggestions. And you can even use that to come up with a research proposal for some scholarships that require one, and you don't have a supervisor. But either ways, I think I've said too much. Mr. Speaker, over to you.
Nah, you haven't actually said too much. You've already spoken most of my mind. Anything I want to repeat now is just a repetition of what you've already said. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you, brother.
All right.
Please.
All right, thank you so much. So do we have, do you have a follow-up question, Noradine? Schreiber, no, Schreiber, sorry.
Yes, I'm really elated. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, and for asking those solid questions. So there's someone I was expecting to ask a question. Abraham, is you joining us from a different part of the world? I was expecting to ask a question as usual. Do you have any question for us today, Mr. Abraham? Abraham,
yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, do you have any question for us today?
Yeah, sorry, I joined you lately. I spent like around 20 minutes.
Okay, no problem. The session is recorded, and I'm going to share the recording in the Google Classroom for you guys to access it. Okay, and I think I've already shared the folder in the WhatsApp group, a folder of all the recordings of all the sessions since we started 3 weeks ago. And I'll add this to that folder, and I'll also share this separately. I might upload it on YouTube as well for the sake of those that are not part of the program. So we're just having questions around scholarship. Our presenter have already presented. Do you have any question, anything that you want to know about scholarships? You can ask. We still have about 10 minutes to wrap this up, and I just want to make sure that all your questions are being answered. And Hannah has been listening. You are not asking questions. Okay. All right. Abraham, what's your question? Do you have any?
Yeah. Now I have the concept. Yeah, and how I can when you want to apply, how do you approach the professor in case if you want to apply directly to the university, to particular professor with your research,
Okay.
with your research proposal,
okay,
which
yeah.
is relevant to their publication.
Yeah, that's a very good good question, and I think we've answered it previously with a demonstration, but I'll just give you a quick recap. So how that works is that if you want to apply for any scholarship, right, and you want to apply through a professor, just go to the university and search for the field that you want. For instance, now let's say you're looking for microbiology, and you want to study in Deakin University. Deakin University is a university is a university in Australia. And let's say you're looking for microbiology, and once you come to this session, you click on search. It's going to show you all the supervisors that are working based. Imagine this is 37 supervisors in microbiology. So the next you just have to click on any one of them, and once you click out of them, maybe the one that you like the face, or you like the outfit, or whatever, or you like the research, right? So just come over there, and you only need the email. And next is that you need their research output. What have they researched on? And you can see this person, what their research area is important, or is something you like. And usually under my research, they will tell you what their research interest is. You can see it's marine ecology, microbial ecology. Let's assume it's marine ecology that you want to apply for. Just copy the email, read their research, and send them a cold email. right? And at that stage, you don't need a proposal yet. You just tell them that you're interested in their work and you would like to work with them under the supervisor. And if they tell you yes, then you guys will now start working on research proposals. And then is that proposal that you submit for applications for any scholarship. In fact, sometimes they will be the one to tell you the scholarship to apply for. They'll be like, oh, this scholarship is coming up on so dates. This scholarship is coming, so they apply. And when they ask you, do you have a supervisor? Say yes and write my name. That's what they will tell you. Right. And in some cases, when there's no scholarship, they will personally offer you a scholarship. They'll pay you from, because most of these projects, they have grants. Right. So let's I'll come over to one university here now, Queen's University is in the UK, which is in Belfast. Right. So you see here, they'll tell you over here, come over to research. They have a lot of funded scholarship open right now. Come over to research, come over to research opportunities, right? And once you click on that, you can see here. Now you see this is funded, right? So you can filter by, you come over here and you filter by funded. And once you click on this filter by funded, you can see these are data-driven, these are all funded scholarships. These are all funded research positions, all this one. So let's say you want to, this is one is sponsored by Rolls-Royce, right? You can see a lot of scholarship. Let's say a data-driven decision transforming urgent care patient outcome and resource, and this is what you're interested in. You just click on this, and then you look at it. This is the supervisor, and you send an email, and they will even tell you that you need to send an email most likely first. Subject information, how to apply. Come over here, apply, and they'll tell you in the apply session. They'll tell you that okay, apply using this. If you're interested in a particular project, we suggest you contact the relevant academic before you apply to introduce yourself and ask questions. So you have to send, when you send an email and that professor say, yes, they want you. That's why I told you guys earlier. If you, like any scholarship, start sending emails to professor is the easiest way to get scholarships. Honestly, you probably, some people will have sent an email. This is closing December, application deadline at 31st of December 2026, and start date is January. Right, so you can see, and someone may not know about this scholarship, for instance, and just only know this person's email, and he sent an email to this supervisor. This supervisor will be the one to now tell you, oh, there's a scholarship that is funded on this project, apply. But now you have shown you how to check for this thing, and you can reach out to the supervisor and you say, oh, you saw this project and you're interested in it, and then you apply. So there are different ways to approach these things. I believe that has answered your question fully, because we've also asked that in the past. So I'll just take one more last question. I
have another question.
Okay, what's your question?
My question is, like for my case, during my undergraduate program,
okay,
I did my research on groundwater quality analysis.
Okay.
Then and maybe in the future I can apply for a scholarship. Was passionate to do research on reservoir.
Okay.
So like if my research project of my degree, that is undergraduate, align with the recent published research by the professor, and the course which I'm going to pursue is different from what I did my research on, how can that one be possible?
Yeah, so the possibility of that is for you to be able to look for the intersection. And what I mean by intersection is that you have to look for where does your research meet. So everything doesn't may not make sense, but there's always an intersection. So you look at it this way. Maybe in your undergraduate, you've had some subjects, you've had some courses that is connected to that research. You can leverage on that. Instead of leveraging on your undergraduate research or your undergraduate project, you leverage on your background knowledge. And you're like, oh, during my 300 level, in fact, I use that. That's one of the things I used to get my master's. When I was applying, it was more like cancer molecular biology. I was like, oh, I had courses in 200 and 300 level that has to do with molecular genetics. We looked at genetics across the plants and all of that, but I'm more interested in human genetics, which was part of what I learned there. Even though I specialize in agronomy, but my interest is in this, and I got the scholarship, right? So but look at it, agronomy and human genetics, look at the difference, it's large, but somehow they are all connected. So you just have to look deep inside your profile. And that's why sometimes you need an expert, right? That's why you see some people, they charge a lot of money to have conversation with you. They call it consultancy. It's because they will help you to unlock the things that you cannot unlock for yourself. They'll help you to look for connections in things that you do not normally would find a connection for. And it's one of the reasons why we have this experience program, to make you be self-aware and also to be globally ready. So if you follow through with these tips and some other things I've shared in the classroom, I believe you would be able to find that interception. But if you struggle to find that interception, feel free to reach out to me personally, and I can schedule a 10 or 20-minute session with you just to help you unlock that, just for the sake of time, okay? Because we have one last question we need to take. Someone has their hands up for long, which is Soli Mukhtar. So can you ask your question, Mr. Soli? What's your question, please?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I just want to ask you that the WhatsApp group and also the YouTube link. I don't have I don't have the link and also the WhatsApp one. And another thing is,
okay, go on.
Another thing is that I wasn't able to join the session. Maybe after us, that's when I was able to join the session. 30 minutes after the session began. So maybe you can share us slide.
Yeah, the slide is, you can find the slide. The slide is going to be shared on our Telegram page. So just go to Telegram and search for Potently. Okay, I'll just get Potently/AQ. I just shared the Telegram here. Just go with this link. This link here. I just shared a link to the Telegram page. So we'll share the slide over there. And if you're part of the summer experience program, we'll also share it on the classroom or on our WhatsApp group. And I'll also try and upload this on YouTube so that everyone can have access to it. So once you just come over here, the link I just shared now, the YouTube link, this is where all our stuff that has to do with scholarship will be posted. And I'm also making, these are just like 15 minutes, and I'm also trying to make a master class. This should be like 25 episodes. So everything about scholarship, I intend to put them in here so that you can watch them and really understand what you need to do when it comes to scholarship, because this is the season of scholarship and we want you to be able to do the right thing. So and I think that will be the last question for today. We are right on time. It's 4 to 6 and we have 1 minute before time. So thank you so much, guys, for joining, and see you guys tomorrow by 4 to 6 p.m. where we have another webinar on this AI and learning experience. We have someone to come teach us how to learn better. This is particularly targeted for undergraduate students and master students. So we're going to share techniques for you on how to learn. And if you're interested in speaking and confidence, we have a practical session on confidence building, and it's still going to be the same Google Meet link. Okay, so let's see you guys tomorrow by 4 p.m. Thank you for joining. I remain my humble self, Tip Top Hamza, and thank you for joining Potently Summer Experience live webinar. See you next time. Cheers, guys. Bye.